Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at a new offering from Stellagama Publishing, Faster Than Light, Nomad, science fiction role-playing game. This copy was sent to me by the good folks at Stellagama, and I want to say thank you to them. I really enjoyed reading through it, and I have a special connection to this particular book. And that connection is, I'll zoom in. There's my name. I'm a playtester on this one. I ran a couple of games with my group a couple of months ago, and we had a blast. We had an absolute blast. I ran just a standard game. I let them pick what tech level we'd be at, because Nomad will cover basically anything from very low tech, not even outer space level tech, all the way up to past Star Trek type tech. So I said, okay, pick whatever you want. And they picked kind of a standard Star Wars level tech. I was hoping they'd go for the really high-end tech with transporters and such, but they didn't. But that's okay. We had an absolute blast. So to all my players, which is my wife Jerry, my sons Patrick and Adam, and Roy, Craig, and Mike, thank you guys. I appreciate you working this with me, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So we're going to take a look through the book. This is quite a thick book. This guy is 277 pages when you get to the back of the Great Index. So I'm not going to go through the entire book, but I am going to show some key parts. So first, the authors, Omer Golan-Joel, Richard Hazelwood, John Peters, and Robert Garita. And legal disclaimer, this is a Cepheus book, so it's a 2x6 space game type thing, although, as I said, you can do any tech level. I was even kidding that if the guys wanted to, they could play cavemen. I didn't care. But like I said, they chose a Star Wars level of tech. So we get the nice black and white artwork, which I always like in a book like this. And we get the table of contents. The nice thing about this book is if you have some folks that are new to any kind of 2x6 gaming, or even new to role-playing, this would be a great book to break them in with. It's not a ton of really heavy sledding rules where you've got to stop play and look it up. Instead, it's a template, and you're encouraged to just go ahead and play and have fun, and at need, look up certain individual rules. So we get the one basic rule, which is I have fun, I'm sure. So the introduction here, and all you need to play this game is the booklet, 2 or more ordinary 6-sided dice, writing supplies, and an active imagination. And it even goes to tell you what a role-playing game is. And when I was describing this to my guys and asking them if they wanted to play it, I was saying that this would be a great game if you did have somebody who was brand new. You have some folks over, you really kind of don't know what to play or what to do. This would be a great way to introduce some folks who haven't role-played before. Because the rules, as I said, are very basic, and you just want to have fun with it. So we get a look at what the basic rules are, the die rolling conventions, which is 2 die, it means 2x6. 1 die 3 is half a die, that kind of stuff. Basic game mechanics, you throw 2 die 6, and basically if you roll equals or exceeds 8, you succeed. You add your skill levels to it, just as most Cepheus games have. You have advantage and disadvantage dice. Here your characters have their skills. Interestingly, you don't really have stats for your characters. You have your skills. That defines your character. Combat, knowledge, physical, social, stealth, vehicles, and technology. And the skills paint with a very broad brush. If I have vehicles, I can drive a car, fly an aircraft, pilot a boat, or a starship. I get to use this skill. As I said, this is a very broad brush that these skills paint with. But again, this game is not meant to get down into the mud and figure out all the details. How do I notice things? There is no actual perception, that kind of thing. Character creation, how you create your characters. Aliens, there are 4 given here. Insectoids, gecko-nids, greys, and reptilians. And this is made to be used with several of the other Stellagama products, so you don't have to just have it with this. And they've done good support on this already. They've released 1 or 2 books already supporting this game. So it's really good. I like the way it was done. I like the simplicity of it. If you were going to GM this, as the scenario I gave where you didn't know what you were going to do that night, you decided to do this. Honestly, I could GM this by having maybe half an hour to sit down, jot up some characters, and then go from there. In fact, that's what I did. Rather than do a session 0 with my crew, I asked them what they wanted to play, and we worked it out in a brief question and answer, and then I made up the characters, and then we went forward from there. That's not the ideal way to do it, but because where we were time-wise and the time I had to get the playtesting in, that's what we chose to do. This could be a very good session 0 situation too, if you wanted to do it that way. So, and you get combat talents, character talents, professional talents, and then we get to the equipment, and the equipment is all in what you have, and then how many credits they cost. It's just equipment packages, which for agent, merchant, or diplomat, this would be your package for 2,795 credits. Nice and quick, very concise. As I said, you can just go ahead and get this game going with minimal prep, which is something I actually do prefer. Sometimes you just don't have time to prep a game for whatever reason, and spend a ton of time on it. So this is a great way to help out with that. And this would help also, a lot of the ideas in here would also apply to any other 2-6 game that you happen to be playing. You don't have to just play this one. You can pull ideas from this and adapt them to a lot of other games. And I have, in fact, done that already in some of the other games that we've played. And then we get hero points. I like hero points. This is not new to this game, but I like its inclusion here. Each player starts each game session with 2 personal hero points. The group has an additional number of hero points equal to the number of players present in that session. So with 6 players, you would have 6 hero points. All hero points pools reset at the beginning of each session. Player may use their personal hero points, and with the other player's consent, points from the group pool at any time during the game. By spending hero points, a character may reroll any single die throw. The player may choose the more favorable result. This includes damage or penetration rolls as well as wound triage rolls. The wound triage is how badly you're injured. Ask the referee to reroll a single NPC's die throw, including damage and pen rolls. However, in this case, the second result stands. In this case, only 1 hero point can be spent on any single referee die roll, and then you can use the point to activate a special archetype or talent as noted in the description. So basically, the hero points are kind of mulligans. If you had a bad die throw, you can go ahead and you can spend one of your personal hero points or one from the group pool and get a reroll in the die roll, or if the GM rolls really well and you don't want your character to die at that moment, you can go ahead and spend a hero point and see if you can mitigate that roll. Now we go into the Psionics section. I love Psionics in a game like this. I like some of the psionic powers in here too. 1,000 Faces, which is one that I really found interesting. The Psion may change their appearance and biometric data to those of any target of the same or similar species for 10 minutes. To mimic the specific biometric data of another person, the Psion must have a sample of the target's DNA. So basically, if you've got a lock of their hair, you use your psionic power to activate 1,000 Faces, and now that lock that is keyed to the individual can be opened by you. I thought that was really nice. I love the artwork in these things. I really do. So I'm not going to go through each and every bit we do here. We do have damage and healing. I'll touch on that real quick. You roll the weapon's damage, subtract whatever protection that the target is wearing, and then the result is the damage to the target's stamina. If your stamina is positive, you're not seriously hurt. When stamina runs out, target is wounded and typically out of combat. Player characters may attempt to keep fighting even when wounded. Throw physical against your physical skill in order to keep fighting. And then you get to heal stamina. When combat is over, characters with stamina remaining can recover their full stamina within 10 minutes of catching their breath and resting. This is supposed to be like in a movie when the hero's having a really tough fight and then he just kind of shrugs it off and goes on to the next thing. I like that. That actually played very, very well. And then if you're out of stamina, you get wounds. Wound characters roll once on the wound triage table after the combat's over. Each additional wound after the first modifies the roll by -1 die, as described above. And then healing wounds takes time. I did put in like a quick heal pack, just something I pulled from another game, because I had a situation where 2 of the players got laid out pretty quick, and I really didn't want to have them just kind of sit there and watch the rest of us play. So I fudged it a little bit, but these rules definitely lend to fudging. And then, let's see, wound triage table is here. On 2d6, if you roll a 3 or lower, you die. On a 4, a critical injury. 5, severe injury. 5 to 7, severe injury. 8 to 10, moderate injury. 11 to 12, just a flesh wound. So we had a lot of fun with that too, but like I said, I had a couple characters get really messed up early, and I didn't want them to just have to kind of sit and watch. So I put in, the old hand-wavium healing elixir type thing from science fiction, back to, if you will, if you're into Star Wars. And here we have some examples of combat. Just a really, really nice book. It's nice and clean, very well presented, very well laid out. I like the layout in this a lot. We get a lot of options for computer hacking, for remotes, for robots, radiation, starvation, and dehydration, all kinds of goodies. I'm just going to skip a lot of stuff in here, simply because this is such a thick book. And then I get to the back here. And the back has the wonderful, wonderful index, and you will absolutely need the index in this particular one. This is a detailed game, and when you as the referee need to find some rules, this index is invaluable. So there you have it. That's just a real quick look at a really nice offering from our friends at Stellagama. I still feel that we're in the 2x6 renaissance. I love how much stuff is coming out and how high quality the stuff that's coming out is. I find it amazing that companies like this are maintaining such an excellent standard. There are a few other books already out for this. I haven't looked at them yet, but I will be. And that's really all I've got to say today on page 121. I completely recommend this book, and I'm very happy to have it in my library. And again, thank you to the folks at Stellagama for the opportunity to take a look at this book, but also for the opportunity to play test it. We had a lot of fun doing it, and I want to say thank you. But that's all I've got today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please take a look at the Patreon, see if there's anything you could do to help me out there, and leave me some comments, and positive criticism is always welcome. And I'll see you next time.